Hi there, I'm Rod Bergeron, and today we're going to make a little bit of a summer scene that I see quite often in my travels, not too far from my home. So I wet the top 2/3 of that page, and I'm not going to rinse this brush out. I'm going to use it and pick up some of this blue wash that I have here. And I'm going to make some, very swoopy kind of lines like that. I'm trying to get this to all bleed together and maybe leave some white space on there for us. But, as always, we're going to let the watercolor do its own thing. Whatever it does, it does. I'm going to rinse that brush out really quick. And I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to pick up some green. I have, this is just some forest green that I have here. Any green will do, but I'm going to install some hills across here, sort of like that. So I'm going to make this one slightly higher and this one slightly lower. And I'm going to put this brush right into my green now. And I'm just going to use that to bump up the saturation level of that a little bit. And again, we're just going to let that bleed into whatever it is it's going to bleed into, okay? Don't try to augment it too much. Rinse that brush off. And I'm going to pick up some yellow ochre here. And I'm just going to put this right into the pigment. So I'm not making a wash out of this or anything. I'm just putting this right into the pigment. And again, I'm going to let that bleed to wherever it's going to go to. And I'm not going to try to augment it too much other than what I got going on there right now. Okay, I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to pick up, I have a little bit of a yellow ochre wash right here. I'm going to put that across there like that. And I'll make it a little bit more intense. Sort of like that. That's pretty good. And I'm going to not rinse this brush out. And I'm going to put it right into my green again. Okay. And I'm going to put that right across there. Quick, just really quick like that. Straight right across there. And maybe pick this up a little bit more intensely. So put this brush right into the green and just let that, again, just let it run to wherever it is it's going to go to. Don't try to augment it too much. Okay, you can see we're getting some really nice little wispy kind of trees and stuff going on there that we really didn't have to do anything to create. I'm going to put this brush right into my water and right back out, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So this is my water. I'm just going to put this right in and right back out. And I'm going to pick up some sienna here. I'm just going to swoop that across there like that. And then I'm going to pick this sienna up a little bit more intensely. And just a little bit more intensely yet. Sort of like that. That's nice. That's what I'm going for. And I want to get rid of this white line right here. So I'm just going to go over that. And see how this is all starting to bleed together here? Nice. All right, so I'm going to take my #1 watercolor brush, and I sharpened one end of it with a utility knife. And I'm just going to put some scribe lines in a few places coming across the bottom here. I got something stuck in my painting there. All right, look at that. Look what's happening back there. That's really nice looking. All right, so we're just going to leave that for now, like exactly like that is. We're just going to grab our bag of salt. So this is just regular table salt. And you can experiment with whatever salt it is that you like. But while this is still wet, I'm going to drop some salt in it. And the salt does a bunch of different things to it. Basically what the salt does is some of the salt turns into salt water. And that kind of goes a little bit crazy with the watercolor. And some of the salt actually just absorbs some of the water around it. So experiment with salt. I use table salt most of the time, but you can use like kosher salt, pickling salt, anything like that. Now, we really need this to completely dry, and then we're going to install another green line across there, okay? So let this completely dry, and then we'll come back. I should say, let it completely air dry. It needs time for that salt to work. So I don't want you to get in here and try to augment it with a hair dryer or something. Just leave it, let it completely dry, air dry. Okay, so that took quite a while to dry, probably almost 2 hours. And I'm gonna paint this here with this is a number 4 round watercolor brush. And I'm going to try to make this into a field, okay? So this is, like a very summery, very bright green kind of a field. And I'm gonna put a lot of, paint in here. And I want this to look, like a field. So I'm going to move my brush so it's, going left to right. And I'm going to pick up a little bit of yellow here. And I'm just going to drop a little bit of yellow into this field in a few places. Look what that salt did for us across here, how it made those almost like flowers across the front there. Okay, so we want this to dry now. So again, we're just going to let it air dry. Don't try to rush it. Just let it air dry and we'll see what happens. If you want, you could put a little bit of salt in there. Let's try that. So I have my little bag of salt here. I'm just going to put just a few grains of salt in a couple of wet areas. And then I'm just going to walk away and let it dry. All right, let's check this out. Yeah, that green field that I just put across there, that really sort of makes a separation between this hilly kind of an area and this foreground. So that's a good mid-ground in there. And you can see where I dropped that yellow in. I think you can see where I dropped that yellow into that green, because there's a very, very good color change from one side to the other. All right. And then look what happened in the back here where we put this sort of hilly kind of a thing in here and our salt across the front. That all worked out really well for me. And we put our mat on here. We get a really, it's a pretty interesting little painting. I like it. I do like it. I think there's some really interesting areas in here. And the sky turned out fabulous. I really do believe the sky turned out great. I'd love to know what you think of it. So let me know in the comment section. And if you got a question or a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Also, I'd love to know where you're from. So if you could drop me a comment in the comment section, let me know where you're from. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for watching today. And as always, if you're currently a subscriber, thanks a lot. If you're not currently a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again real soon.